Oh my gosh. Okay. So, hello. How are you today? Can you hear me okay?
Hey, how are you?
I'm well, thanks. Apologies for the tech issues. So, it looks like our link, something happened to our link. So,
Oh no, it's all good.
it's all good. It's all good. So, yeah, I'm super excited for our third session today.
Yay!
So, we're going to be covering third-party scheduling platforms and using social media to build your email list. I figured it might be fun to just share the results from the poll that we did last week.
Absolutely.
So for the spelling of e-commerce, and I also had a look on Twitter, and it looks like this is a common debate that everybody still has, and it's like unending.
Mhm.
But e-commerce got 27.3% votes, 54.5%. So the winner was just capital e-commerce, one word, and then you do lowercase e when it's in the middle of a sentence. And then we got about 18% of others. So feel free to go check that out if you're interested and you want to have any strong opinions on that. But it looks like e-commerce, no dash, is the winner that the public thinks, but Grammarly disagrees. So I don't know.
That's awesome.
So yeah, so I'm going to share another little poll for everybody to kind of participate in later. But let's dive into third party scheduling platforms. So do you want to take it off here to start?
Yeah, so I'm interested in learning from everyone watching. If you are using a scheduling platform, if you want to let us know which one and why, I'm curious. I know there's a variety of different ones out there. I've used Oh, it says low network bandwidth. Am I break?
Oh, you're breaking up. Yeah, but you just came back for a second.
Oh no, I'm so sorry. It's probably
There you
windy
are.
out.
There you are. You're there.
Okay. Sorry
So
about
go.
that.
You're fine.
Um, so in the beginning of my social media career, a year or two ago when I was working for Suite and the pricing had drastically changed and I was like, "Oh wow." So it's kind of more of a commitment. Loomly I have used with small businesses with my business. And I like it because it has an approval system, it has some AI components, and it's just very clean. Everything looks really nice in that app. And then later I have used, I think it's a little too complex and it can confuse clients sometimes. But that's my personal experience.
That is a great. I literally just put out a poll today, asking all my fellow marketers on Twitter which one is your favorite.
Yeah.
So far, the winner is Sprout. So obviously,
Sprout.
we
Okay.
know we've got Sprout, later Hootsuite, Buffer, Loomly. I just had a company called Hopper HQ reach out to me. So like, there are just so many out there, and it's
Yeah.
almost kind of overwhelming when you are choosing one, which one's right for you. If you have the budget though, and that's the current winner on the poll, and my current favorite is Sprout Social. They have been able to been, in my opinion, they're the best when it comes to data and the best when it comes to, getting average overall engagement rate. But they are a bit more expensive. So, it depends on if you have a budget. Um, I would take this a step further and say not only which one is right for you, but, and I'll drop this poll link in there, but, you know, the question of whether or not using third party scheduling tools does it hurt your reach? Now, this is a big myth in our industry, and I'm wondering your thoughts on that.
My thoughts are I'm not sure if it hurts your reach, but I have seen in my personal experience that if you post and schedule natively within the app, it seems to perform a little better than scheduling it through these other third-party platforms. So,
Yes.
and that definitely goes for video content. Like if you take a video in TikTok, you edit it in TikTok and post it versus I edit it elsewhere, bring it to the app, schedule and post. I've seen a difference between those two options. Same thing with Instagram. If you add the video and then edit it within app and then post versus the opposite, I have personally seen the data be a little off.
And when you think about it, it makes sense because the initiatives of Facebook and YouTube and all of our social media platforms, they want to keep you on that platform for as long as possible, right? Um, for
Exactly.
for anybody doing YouTube Shorts, that's a new update that YouTube introduced in August of 2023 is you can no longer put links in your shorts. You can only connect them to YouTube video. So you can that's directly doing exactly what we're saying is they're trying to keep people on the platform and then you keep your links in your long form content.
Mhm.
Um, but yeah, I think it's definitely something that I'm going to be testing out just to kind of get a deeper myth, get deeper into the myth busting there. But I think it's fair to say, you know, in the poll that I did this morning, I think it was like about 50% of people said that it does hurt your reach, 25% said that it doesn't, and 25% said they don't know. So I think, you know, we both you and I both agree that it definitely does a little bit, but I think, you know, if you're a brand and you're turning out content, you cannot really, that's just not sustainable to be posting in the app all the time. And I don't know about you, but unless I have a company phone, I'm not gonna be
Yeah.
doing, you know, using my storage. So yeah, it's an interesting debate that, you know, we'll do a little bit more research and kind of bring back to our viewers, you know, if we have any insights on that. And if there's really any solution, I think that's the thing that you have to consider is like, oh, okay, if it's only losing 10% of reach, you know, is that worth it in
Yeah.
terms of time and resources? So
I think it also has to depend on like your efficiency. Like if you have a team, you pump out tons of content and you schedule it and you maintain that consistency, you're going to get results no matter what. If you're like a 1 to 5 person team and you're taking the time to edit within the app and post and you're getting the same results, it really has to do with time. How much time can you dedicate to an app versus a third party platform to help schedule?
yeah, and I think from a pro side of the third party platforms, where it
Mm-hmm.
comes in for me is the data. Because the problem that they're trying to solve is when you are looking at your overall engagement rate, not many third party platforms have been able to get the overall engagement rate. I think Sprout has. Do, can you correct me if I'm wrong there? But I think that's where I was like, Sprout has been able to do it. They have the overall engagement rate. Whereas a lot of these other companies don't have that number, but that is the problem that they're trying to solve is when it does come time to do a monthly audit, you know, how many tabs are you going to have to open? Um,
Mm-hmm.
Even if I do have a centralized platform, though, I do always end up going directly into the platform at some point. So I guess, you know, I think back to your point, I think I'm not anti third party scheduling platform, but I'm definitely going to be testing around with it just to get a little bit more insight on it.
Yeah, no, totally. I think it's something that's beneficial to have, but I think you should combine it with still jumping into the app, interacting there, using the features that each app offers, and then using the third party platform just to maintain consistent and have your schedule planned, I think is great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think that kind of covers that discussion. Shall we crack on into this super exciting topic using social media to build your email list? Excites me.
Yes, I love emails and socials.
So, what's your number way, would you say, to use social media to build an email list for e commerce brands?
I think providing incentive is very important. With one of the e-commerce brands that we work with, as soon as you get to their site, it has a pop-up. Hey, save 10% off your first order. Use this code. Just sign up for your email right now, and then we'll also send you exclusive updates. Um, so yeah, doing that for an e-commerce brand is super important, I think. I fall for it every time. I'm not gonna lie. Even if
Every single time. I was just gonna say that. I was like, I will take that welcome code, girl, anytime.
yeah, oh, free shipping? Here's my email.
That is
That
customers' favorite F word, free shipping. Um,
yes.
but I 100% agree with you on incentives. I think, really thinking too about, will your customers actually want this incentive? Making sure that it's something good, making sure that it's something that is of low cost and output to your company, but of high value to your customers. So, for a fashion brand, that might be a summer dress, giving that away for free. Referral programs are kind of like a tier of incentives that I have found to be one of the most effective, both personally, where I fall for it every time, but also as, a marketer, is that referral program. Some extremely good ones that we've seen is ClassPass. I don't know if you've used ClassPass, but they give you a code in your app. You have 24/7 access to it. And I can take that link and say I go to a yoga class. I will post a picture of that yoga class, attach the link and say, hey, get 2 weeks of free classes. And when you get those free classes using my link, I get free credits to use on my account. And that, I mean, to me, that referral scheme, I've seen it done, but I think ClassPass does it so well because it allows people to take it to social media. And then obviously, once you're a signed up user, you are right into the email list. The skim was another one, but that was a longer term, incentive where it was like they had just come into the game, a news source. They had a referral that lasted a year, so everybody referred, and when you referred, you were entered to win £1,000, which was like
Oh
a big,
wow.
yeah, £1,000 cash.
Yeah.
And now, 7 years later, they're still doing very well. And I remember that's how they came on the scene, was because they were like, win £1,000, tell everybody you know about us. And obviously that's how I found it. And then HelloFresh. We know HelloFresh very well. They're super good on social. That's what they're all about. And in fact, they're probably too good at their referral program because they probably give away so much free food. So yeah, incentives 100% I agree with.
I've also fallen for that a million times. I do HelloFresh and Every Plate. I think I switched to Every Plate just to get rid of the bags. But yeah, they have a really nice referral program, and then you can also like send free boxes to your friends to try out. So kind of that offer of, a trial, try us out for a month and then sign up. That's
Yeah.
also a good thing to offer. Um, Another thing that you, no, I'm sorry.
Well, when you think about social media, it's word of mouth. That's really all it is. And so that's what these incentives and these referral programs are doing, is they're basically just utilizing word of mouth. So
Definitely. One of the
yeah.
brands I work with, we're building out kind of like a brand ambassador program. And for the initial phases, we're creating special codes for each person. And then we can give that to them. They share it with all their friends. And that's how we track the sales of, oh, these are their followers who bought. They use their codes. So now we can provide them incentives for sharing that code. So it's kind of like the DIY way of ClassPass, I guess.
Exactly. And I'm sure we can work UGC into there somewhere as well.
Mhm.
But I think when you think about your incentives and where they lie, or where brands lie, it's the idea of just making sure you think about the customer relationship from where they're at on social and where they're at on email. So that incentive is really like, hey, if you guys give us your email, you're going to get early access to sales. You're going to get discount codes. You're going to get maybe early access to behind the scenes content with your favorite influencer.
Mhm.
It can be tons of things, but really remembering that it's a journey. So you're not going to be airing all of the top secret stuff. You want to keep that in emails because that's for all the people that have been super special and signed up. And also, email is where people are the most engaged because, right, like social media, it's just boom on your newsfeed. I can ignore it. Email, I'm consciously going through there and deleting and clicking in. So you really have, a lot of engagement. So you can get people to do a lot more things. So really being aware of the customer journey from social to email, and making sure all the CTAs make sense throughout that. Um,
Absolutely. I think another thing is to make sure that when you're building your email list and you're saying that it's an exclusive thing, make sure that that email list actually receives those exclusive offers and it's not just saying it. You know what I mean? Um, a way you could do that is advertising on socials. Hey, did you join our email list? Were you invited to our exclusive event coming up? That could have been, like today, say we have our e-commerce webinar and we had our own email list and only the people who were on that got invited to this event to, to listen to our knowledge versus we've been blasting on social media, which is fine. I mean, I love that too.
exactly. Or if we only gave our, package deal to people who are in the
Or subscribe.
lives,
Oh, yeah,
which
that too.
most people, can find the link via YouTube. But if there was that extra level that we put on it, for sure. I think
Mm-hmm.
paid ads is, I was debating making that my number one because I think it's such an obvious place to start. You should be running
Mm-hmm.
paid ads. I think whether it's using testimonials, a feature vid, carousels, I think having kind of like maybe a batch of 3 to 5 of, formats of content that we're going to test these out. And they're
Mm-hmm.
kind of not set it and forget it, but kind of like that. And then also considering your automations on the other side, because I think with paid ads, the plus of paid ads versus doing the organic stuff is that you have the lookalike audiences. So you have the data. So say you do paid ads and you get 1,000 subscribers. Brilliant. You can now lookalike and expand, go from 1 to 2 to 2 to 4, 4 to 8, etc. So
Mm-hmm.
that's the massive win that you have with paid ads is you have the data and the lookalike audiences. Whereas, your automation, that's the next step of it, is making sure that once people get into that email, you have a welcome sequence that introduces them to the brand. Maybe that's the point that you offer the referral program, like, hey, you're in, awesome, get your mates in. So yeah, automation is kind of a step into it of once you've gotten them from social onto email lists, make sure you have automation set up because those will keep expanding that list and get those people to get the word out there.
Definitely. And automations, they might take some time to actually implement, but in the long run, it saves you so much work and time and communication. It just bridges the gap between, that person being introduced to your brand and then them actually converting.
Yeah, and also it literally does drive a lot of revenue. I've seen automation drive a lot more revenue than, say, your average campaigns will. And I believe the statistic is about automation welcome sequences do 350% on average more revenue than your everyday campaign.
Wow.
So welcome sequence, miss you sequence, all those things, make sure you have them set up for once people are in there, how you can expand it. I feel like we definitely need to touch upon competitions and giveaways and our influencers because that's a whole thing, and that is probably one of the most effective ways to build your email following.
Yeah, definitely. Let me think of different ways I've done competitions. I've done competitions on socials.
Yeah, let's talk about that one because really that's where we would start. We would hold the competition on social to get people over to email, right?
To email. Yeah,
So,
no, for sure. I think I may have mentioned this during one of our lives, but one of the e-commerce brands has a bunch of stickers, and they're like Maryland themed, pretty flashy. And I held a sticker competition. Send us in your photos, and all of our followers will vote, like which one wins side by side. And then the winner of that, since they like stickers, got a free sticker pack mailed to them. Um, so you could do that, I think, with a variety of different brands.
oh
Like
yeah,
Stanley cups, like decorate your Stanley cups and stickers, like different things like that. um,
there's so
but
many ways. There's so many ways to do competitions.
mhm.
Um, I think it's again back to the idea of the incentive of, hey, we're going live. Tune in for a competition for a chance to win XYZ. Make sure you have TNCs clear in your emails or whatnot. But really, announcing the competition on social, getting people over to email, and then adding another layer to it where it's like, hey, you're in, but even if you don't win, you're going to get a 10% discount code because now you're part of the VIP.
Mm-hmm. I think that's also important, is definitely still rewarding the people that are showing up and being active. So sorry.
That brings me to my next point. Point is loyalty schemes, because I think that is another layer to getting people on the email list from social. And also getting it full circle is if you can do any sort of segmenting that says, hey, if somebody from Twitter comes onto this email list, make sure that the footer of those emails has Instagram and TikTok. So you can get them onto your, cross-channel promotion is a big one there. So you can always be cross-channel promoting your email, subscribe, having your subscribe link. You can have just a subscribe landing page and having that everywhere. But loyalty schemes, I think, adds another layer to it where it's like, hey, you're getting even more segmented VIP, double early access before everybody else. Maybe better customer service access. I think outside the box when it comes to your incentives. It doesn't just have to be a physical product. It can be a better service within your company.
Definitely. And if you wanted to add something a little more to provide an incentive, is offering a membership or an exclusive member of your brand. Oh, do you love Nike? Become a Nike member and you can pay X amount of dollars to become that member, and then you have free shipping for the rest of the year. Kind of like what Amazon Prime does. They have that. You pay for the year, you don't pay for shipping, and you can order tons of stuff without having to worry about that.
Same with ASOS. They've adapted that as well. And that is, I think it's money well spent, and it does definitely keep you there. I think also apps are probably another tier of that loyalty scheme. If someone's really a loyal customer, then giving them discounts and incentives through the app. I think going back to the email list as well, thinking about, I think you brought this up last time, was the SMS text messages. Because I feel like SMS is the same as email, but a little bit different. It's like a new tier that's attached now to email. So I feel like that's definitely, it's like your sub email list is also start building your phone number. So once you get people from social, say through a competition onto email, you can say, hey, give us your phone number for XYZ.
Yes. I think Kajabi offers that in some of their packages with Shopify. And I feel like with SMS texting, you have to be super careful about it, because you don't want to inundate someone to the point that they just respond stop because, okay, you're annoying me. I don't want to see this anymore. But if you offer something that's super valuable, like I said, delivering on that promise is important, then they'll probably like, oh crap, okay, let me click this link and grab this before they're all out of stock with this super awesome deal. I think that's just something you have to be really considerate about with the texts or texts. I can't talk today. I'm so sorry. I'm not gonna lie, like all day today, I prepared for our July topic, and then I hopped on your sheet and I was like, oh.
Oh no, I almost deleted those so that wouldn't happen. And then I was like, no, I'm sure she'll see the date. But
No, it's fine.
because we're almost like running out of time here, I guess the other kind of final point that I wanted to make, and they kind of go together, is the optimized landing page and where that falls within going from social to email, because I think that's a huge part of it. And then going back to considering the customer journey and how that ties into landing pages. So what would you kind of add about landing pages and any favorite tools that you have to use for that?
Optimized landing pages are very important. I think you always have to have the purchasing option, like kind of immediate. You don't want them to have a lot of text to read through and things to consider, because that will cause customer decision fatigue, which you don't want. So I think that's one of the most common mistakes I see on landing pages, is that if they click on the link to purchase something, it doesn't go straight to the product. It goes to like the home page and then they have to search. If
Mm-mm.
someone has to search, they're going to bounce off, and that's not great.
I
So,
totally agree with you. Make sure you send them to a product, the one that you told them, make it easy, and make sure it's
yeah,
not out of stock, please.
yes. Otherwise, you're wasting marketing dollars.
Yes, and I saw actually a great tip from Neil Patel that was the strategy of taking your optimized landing page, right? You have this initiative on your with all of the details on it.
Mhm.
Taking the entire story preface within that, all of the copy within the landing page, and breaking it up into 4 separate paid ads. So the customer gets served with chapter 1, chapter 2, chapter 3, chapter 4. And then once they're ready to get the full story and act on it, then they can click through. And I really like that because I think it's a good use of taking copy and repurposing it.
Yeah.
And actually, again, creating a customer journey because you're
Yes.
telling them a story and getting them through to the end line. Um, my favorite tool for this kind of analysis and keeping an eye on making sure that your landing pages are optimized and that they're doing the best they can do is with Hotjar. Just dropping in a link in there, and it will literally create a heat map of, this is being clicked on the most or this isn't. That is always super insightful. And you can find out, you know, some really interesting things and move things around to get more conversion rates. So I think the customer journey, considering how you speak to them on social, in email, in text messages, etc., and where they're at along that journey is super, super important. So I feel like we could keep going on about that one, but we are low on time. Is there anything else you want to add or anything we should cover before we hang up?
Back to the landing page. When your customer arrives there, they want to see the product, the option to buy, varieties of sizes and colors. And below that, it's important. Make sure you have reviews and testimonials underneath that. So, yeah, make sure that's there. That's my last thought before we sign off. And then, do we want to cover our deal?
Yeah, if they can add photos to those testimonials too, I love that. That's my favorite. If I can click and see real-time photos.
Yeah.
But yeah, our deal right now is live. We have a package deal for anybody tuning in. It's 6,000 for 3 months. You get access to both of us, and I will provide social media audits and feedback and strategic insights. And Diana and her team apply and manage your social media channel. So if you're interested in working with us, feel free to reach out to either one of us or click the link. We will provide it on YouTube below this video.
Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next month where we will be talking about UTM tracking and collaborations in public relations.
Awesome. I can't wait.
See you then.
See
Have a
you
great
then.
day.
Bye bye. You too.